is up, everybody? Welcome to ToothAndTailTV, the show where you submit replays and we cast them. I am Delthius. How's it going, everybody? Y'all been doing alright? Sorry I had missed a couple shows for work, but I am back here tonight. Got a lot of games lined up. I got a lot of submissions, so I apologize I couldn't get everybody on this show tonight, but if you did submit recently, since the last episode, and are not on the list tonight, I'll get you on next Tuesday. Next week is looking good at this point. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do Tuesday and Thursday next week rather, so. Feels good, man. I think I had to miss 3 shows, so I'm happy to be back. Happy to see all you lovely nerds again, and let me know how everything sounds. It looks like we're all good to go, so without any further ado, guys, let's jump into it. Game number 1 here. Alright, spawning in the 9 o'clock position, we've got Valeris. And his opponent in the 3, CJ Man Jansen. Alright, so let's take a look at this map a little bit while the game is getting underway here. And CJ's got a nice second base, you know, that should be pretty easy for him to defend. He doesn't have any ground around on that high ground, you know, for him to like put turrets. I guess maybe one like right here if he really needed to, but still not bad. I mean, having your expansion on the high ground is always good. And Valeris here looks like he's in a little bit of trouble as far as the spawn goes. You know, he spawned on this low ground here, which is never good. And as well, he can't really place warrens in that optimal spot all around his base. So if Man Jansen decided to go for a rush that you could really abuse, you know, maybe this ledge right here from Valeris, but instead it looks like he's just opting to go for an economic opening. And Valeris went for a safe opening. Yeah, he sells the Warren off now and is going to match that greed with greed. I always like that response. If you know, kind of when you see that your opponent's going greedy, you open with a 5-farm Warren. You have the option, sure, to go into the double, or you could just kind of play standard, get up an 8-farm economy of your own and take the game a little bit into more of the mid-game position. So, hey, what's up, Preview Bo? Hey, Radino, how's it going, guys? Good to be back, for sure. I'm going to get to as many replays as I can tonight. But again, if you aren't on the show tonight, don't worry, I'll get you on the next one. And Man Jansen, man, going for a very, very quick second base here. And it's going to be easy for him to defend, but if Valeris has an opportunity to really punish this. Now, he doesn't have toads, so the lizards of Man Jansen are going to hold off fairly well. But instead, Valeris looks like he wants to go up to a quick tier 2. And not a super fast tier 2 or anything. That's a pretty reasonable time tier 2. But I think what Valeris wants to do here is just kind of keep adding on squirrels, let those 2 snakes finish up, and go for an attack. But no, changes his mind. Maybe going for the tier 3. Yeah, I love it, man. Alright, so the Warren has been put down. It's going to be a little bit till we see it hit the board, but love the move. And let's see if Man Jansen manages to get the scout in. I believe he did, yeah, so he knows what's coming. He's not exactly sure which tier 3 that is, but Boar's pretty popular nowadays, so that wouldn't be a bad guess. What's up, Frog? What's up, Bunt? What's the phone? What do you mean, when does Delthius get back? I'm here, you troll. Alright, so Valeris is just hanging out, man. He's got a pretty clear plan in front of him, right? He's just getting out this tier 3. I like the rest of what he's doing. He's not doing anything super crazy like going for the tier 3 in an expansion or for tier 2 units as well. Yeah, and actually really well timed by Valeris to get that board started. So now he's going to have a nice handful of squirrels and a board to make a pretty aggressive push here. And Man Jansen's turret timings are actually pretty good. He didn't build those turrets too early on and kind of affect his production rate. He's going a little crazy with these turrets, but to be honest, I don't mind it. I mean, he knows the big attack's about to happen here for Valeris, and he wants to kind of turtle up a little bit. And, you know, after the attack, or if Valeris decides to not move out, Man Jansen can always sell off these turrets. So I think it makes sense, right? Like he's taking that big risk from that gristmill, so just kind of wants to reinforce the army here. Valeris looks like he's building this one turret because he saw, my guess would be that he saw the lizards of his opponent and kind of assumes once he gets over there, Man Jansen's going to concede, okay, my army can't beat yours, and he's going to go for some kind of big counterattack, right, that lizards are very, very notorious for. So here we go, man. Valeris moving out, but that's a lot of turrets here for Man Jansen, and Valeris just now scouts him, so I'm not so sure if he should commit. I mean, the boar bomb's pretty good, but I don't... somebody in the chat might know better than me, but I doubt it's going to kill the turrets completely. Let's see, he's going to commit. He's going to get some good flamethrower rounds on the tier 1 of his opponent. That boar doing a good job tanking those turrets. He's debating with the idea of trying to keep it alive, but it's going to die to poison. You could have used that boar bomb slightly better. But it looks like Valeris actually in the middle of that fight kind of snuck down and decided to take the southern base, which is not a bad move, but overall, man, Jansen's going to clean up that engagement pretty nicely. So I'm wondering if Valeris from here goes back and sells the tier 3 Warren. Yeah, I love this move out of Man Jansen, selling off those turrets after the big attack. So, okay, I got a little notification something happened. So, dash, boom. What we got that happened? Hey, thanks for the bit, Pez. I appreciate it. So, anyways here, yeah, so Valeris did not decide to sell off the tier 3 Warren. Instead, he's going to try for round number 2 on the boar. And let's see if it works for him. Kind of in a little bit of a lull. I think it's worth noting, yeah, Valeris kind of lost that fight, fairly well, but he did manage to sneak out a second base, which is going to be hard for him. Any way you slice it this map. I mean, really, that was his only second base option down there in the south, but man, Jansen might just be a little bit too ahead in the economy at this point. I mean, look at the income graph. He's maintained a nice lead most of the game. He held off the big tier 3 rush using a ton of turrets, and now he finds himself in relatively good shape. The snakes are a good answer to tier 3 units in general, especially the boar. So I feel like this next engagement that Valeris is going to go for, man, Jansen's going to be in a good position. I mean, he's just got to, target fire that boar with the snakes a little bit, get some nice poison stacks going. Valeris doesn't have any pigeons to answer that poison damage, so it's going to be rough for the boar to really get a lot done in this next big engagement here. And Valeris opting to go ahead and saturate the second base. I think that's the move to make. But I'm a little worried for him because once this game kind of gets to that 3 base, area, if we get that far, then he's going to be in rough shape. It's going to be difficult, really, for either players to take a third base, but much more easier for Man Jansen. But Man Jansen may be making a bit of a mistake here. I think those units might have been, pulled out a little bit. Good read from Valeris to come in there and get some free units and just decimates all the tier 1 of Man Jansen. That's exactly what Valeris needed to get back into this game. But Man Jansen's not messing around now, man. He's going to come in for the engagement, get a lot of poison stacks down on that boar, 17 in total, and knocks it out, keeps most of these snakes alive for now. He needs to be careful, though. A couple of them are starting to bleed out as they approach the front lines, but Man Jansen dominates that army. And Valeris is forced to sell off that tier 3 Warren at this point. And now Man Jansen is flirting with the idea of a counterattack here. This bottom base is very, very important for Valeris. He cannot afford to lose it. But Valeris has the high ground here. Gets some nice pop shots off, but oh wow. Actually losing the snakes there is Man Jansen to those turrets. And Valeris might be able to stabilize here. And yeah, it's going to be rough for Valeris to take another expansion, but as long as Valeris is out on the map and prevents either of these gristmills from going to his opponent, neither player is going to get a third base. And Valeris taking this gristmill here mainly to just kind of extend his territory, allow him to be able to get healed up here, maybe throw down a turret or two. So how are the levels, guys? I think they're okay, right? Levels should be good. But yeah, I like this out of Valeris. Even throwing down a couple Warrens here on the front lines, just to reinforce a bit quicker. But Man Jansen's going to go in. And as you notice, both players kind of had to go back to the Stone Age with their army composition. I didn't really mention it earlier, but Man Jansen did sell off his tier 2 Warrens. And man, he's got a lot of tier 1, and lizards fare very well against squirrels. So Man Jansen takes a nice dominating victory there, and that's kind of the risk that you take as Valeris with this deck composition. He really has that boar to deal with the lizards. If you're gonna run squirrels, it's typically safe to also run toads, just in case your opponent has lizards. You have a nice answer to them. But Valeris, opted to drop that for additional tier 2 this game. And he realizes he needs something else to help him here, because he's going to get dominated in this tier 1 conflict. So going for those skunks. Let's see if Man Jansen will give him enough time. Now, Man Jansen didn't successfully take the space out earlier, so Valeris still has a good economy. But lizards are great against squirrels. A lot of them actually kind of bleeding off, trying to run by the group of squirrels and find their tiles. But Man Jansen just has enough here. And coming down here and knocking out this base might be all she wrote for Valeris. That's really the thing he had to defend on this map. And well played here by both players. I mean, I think the deck was a little stacked against Valeris, you know, with this map composition, but he made it work for him fairly well. You know, a couple engagements could have gone a little better for him, you know, not really having a good answer for the lizards besides the toads. And let's see, he's going to try to come out for one last stand here, but Man Jansen just has too much and takes the win. All right. Oh, wait. More replays. There we go. That's the right button. Okay. I want to get through 14 tonight since I've been gone for a little while, so I'm going to keep the chatter to a minimum, guys, and just try to go from game to game to game. So let's hop into match number 2 here. All right, spawning in the 6 o'clock, we've got Boofy. And his opponent up top, Illuminatus. Kind of interesting deck compositions coming out here for both players. I like it a lot. You know, Boofy's got some early game potential / mid game potential with the moles, but hell, even a lot more potential than that. I mean, you know, moles can do all sorts of things for you. It's, you know, snipe buildings later on in the game, do little kind of, you know, poke and prod, flank attacks with them and stuff, so that's really neat to see. But, you know, I like this out of Boofy in general, just squirrel, toad, pigeon, badger. You know, squirrel, toad can make a very good, even throwing in a couple pigeons in there, can make a very good early to mid-game push. It's a good answer against the lizards of your opponent. You know, lizards are pretty popular, so I've been having a lot of success if I identify, okay, my opponent's building a bunch of lizards, going for like 9 squirrel, 3 toad push. So I'd love to see something like that happen out of Boofy, as Illuminatus' only option here in the early game is to build those lizards, right? Because Illuminatus, on the other hand, is going for that wolf, man, in the mines, which could seriously do a lot of damage this game, and just several tier 2 here. I mean, the Falcons seem to be the kind of wombo combo with the wolf in the late game. You know, skunks maybe against this tier 1 heavy army, which could come in handy against Boofy, actually. And the snakes as well for kind of counter tier 3, counter chameleons, so... Illuminatus, these decks are actually kind of cool, right? Because I feel like both players kind of have answers for the different options that either one can throw at each other. Illuminatus actually opting to go for a really fast skunk war, and I wonder if that was based off of seeing his opponent build those early squirrels. You know, typically we normally say skunks are a little bit better against squirrel toad than they are against lizards, because the lizards are so fast. You know, they're not going to spend so much time in that skunk gas, but Boofy wants to move out here. Did he? Actually, I'm really interested to see if Boofy scouted the tier 2. Okay, he did. So he's moving out in response to the fact that his opponent is building a fast tier 2, kind of like what I like to call tier 1 chicken, you know, where sometimes you could say, oh, you stopped building tier 1, you went for an expansion, you went for higher tech units, I can kind of mass tier 1 and punish you for that. That's what Boofy's trying to do here. He doesn't have the toads, but he's got a couple moles on the front line, so that might make up for it. Let's see how much damage he can get done. Now, that skunk is alive, which is going to do great for the defense of Illuminatus here, and kind of making Boofy decide whether or not he wants to hard engage, trying to micro around, stay out of the skunk gas as much as possible. And overall, I think that was fairly well played from both sides. You know, neither one taking really crippling damage. I think Boofy got a Warren there. Did he? He might. I believe so. Boofy actually has kept these moles alive so far, but man, he is going hardcore. 4 more moles on the way. He wants to end this game right here, right now. And catching these skunks out in the middle of the map is going to be huge for him. Illuminatus went back to do a little macro at the home base and forgot his units out in the middle of the map, and that might be the killing blow here for Illuminatus, man, who's microing those skunks so well until that little mistake, leaving those units unattended in the middle of the map, and now Boofy has a ton of momentum. and is just doing a lot of damage here. But don't forget, those moles are very expensive units, but again, so far, doing a great job keeping them alive. I believe he started this push with 6, and he might get out with 3 still alive, so not the end of the world. And in the meantime, it doesn't look like Boofy wants to let up, man. I'd like to see him kind of go, maybe even, man, with these moles, maybe even build a couple pigeons, you know, help him heal up here. But, you know, once these moles get real low like this, they're very easy to kill, and that's a lot of money that goes down for Boofy, so maybe that's what he's thinking here, trying to take this territory. I mean, it's a good thing in general. This is actually a beautiful high ground spot to throw a turret or 2 down to help with the siege. Obviously, he's going to get that territory that's going to, you know, heal up his units, and that's really what he needs at this moment. He's got a lot of expensive, tanky units that are very bruised up at the moment, and if Illuminatus is good at kind of taking those down, could get him back into this game. But so many moles here for Boofy, and he's got the squirrels to back him up, and now he's starting to get into that underbelly of Illuminatus' base, starting to get some economic damage done. Illuminatus manages to keep that last skunk alive, so that's going to help him out for now. But the pressure's on here, man. And yeah, that turret is beautiful here. I mean, these Boofy might be overextending a little bit there. Yeah, these squirrels are very slow to reinforce, being back at his home base, and as I say that, he builds that turret, but nice runaround attack here coming out of Illuminatus. He's going to lose all these lizards, but the hope is he can, you know, take out these reinforcements easy and get some damage done back here to the economy of Boofy. And Boofy kind of falling for the bait here, running back with the slow units to deal with these lizards, and the damage is already done here for Illuminatus. He wants to try to prevent any more economic damage being dealt here, but man, great attack here for Illuminatus. And the silver lining for Boofy is that the reinforcing lizards were, you know, running right to their death past that turret, past the units of Boofy. So Illuminatus was kind of bleeding off lizards that entire time because of that. But he managed to get some real damage done to Boofy, and kind of put him back into this game. So real back and forth, and Illuminatus really has to babysit these skunks, man. He can't afford to lose these. One goes down to the moles. And I'd almost like to see Illuminatus maybe tech switch over to snakes, but he probably doesn't have the time, you know. And this turret coming down for Boofy is just going to make this even more difficult for Illuminatus. Now he's very much so contained. He doesn't have a great answer to get out of those turrets, and now his economy is really in the dumps. He needs to find a way to get a base somewhere else. Otherwise, he's just going to lose the economic game here. I mean, yeah, he got a lot of damage done to Boofy's main, but, you know, lucky for Boofy, he had another base established up here, so he's just like, okay, I'll throw down some, you know, some farms and start, you know, building up a little bit of an economy up here. And Illuminatus doesn't have ferrets or anything like that that really help him out against this kind of siege play. And he might be kind of thinking about just letting this base go at this point, maybe trying to set up shop somewhere else, but trying to do a runaround attack, I just don't feel like he's got the lizards to knock this out. And these skunks are going to come in, but, you know, skunks really need, they're depending on the rest of your army, right? Like, they're not going to be rock stars all by themselves, like a unit like a chameleon. Well, as I say that, he does kind of kill a few squirrels there with them, but not enough, not worth the 120 food, and that's really all Illuminatus had left. So I might fast forward this for the sake of time a little bit here, and see if Illuminatus can set up shop somewhere else. That's what he wants to do, as his main base has now been totally destroyed. And, you know, Boofy's in a good spot, man. You know, he doesn't have to commit. He doesn't have to do anything crazy. He's just kind of got to play the waiting game at this point, and he can come in. We are just on ×2 for a little bit here as the game is kind of reset, you know, with these low economies. And, you know, Boofy now decides, all right, man, I've got enough. I'm ready to move out. You know, he's had a superior economy for quite some time now. I think he saw those mines getting placed down as well, so just runs around to the side, and there's nothing here for Illuminatus to contest this. And I really think that's got to be it for Illuminatus, you know, trying to stay in the game as best he can. I don't believe Boofy is aware of that last campfire, no. So, Illuminatus still in the game for now, kind of, sort of, right? He's hanging in there. But Boofy really has got him in a stranglehold here. There shouldn't be a lot that Illuminatus can do to come back in this game. Boofy's gonna identify that base. Ooh, just build a single mole there. I love that kind of stuff, man. Doesn't even have to move out his main army. And that's gonna be it. Boofy's gonna take the round. Ooh. How's it going, everybody? Yeah, the show's back tonight. Sorry I had to miss a few weeks, but we're good. We should be good next week, too, so. Yeah, we're back on schedule at least for next week. So next Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. EST, we'll be doing it again. I've got a lot lined up tonight. I'd like to get through as much as I can. I had a lot of submissions, so thanks so much, guys, for continuing to submit to the show, man. Super cool. And if you did submit, you weren't on here tonight, I should be able to get you on the next show. So let's hop into game number 3 here, guys. Vincent versus Big Tree. All right, spawning up top, we've got Vincent with a lot of tier 2 in his deck, and his opponent down in the south, Big Tree. Yeah, Big Tree's kind of going for that ultimate late game army. Chameleon Falcon scale really well in the late game. Boar, Pigeon, and then the Squirrel just have some front line. Again, he doesn't have Lizard or Toad, so he's going to be a little bit weak to really hard Lizard plays, but Chameleons do okay against Lizards, I feel like. And that's probably what the Barbed Wire pick for Big Tree is for here. And this map isn't the worst for it. I mean, I can envision a couple pieces of barbed wire, defending a couple of these choke points fairly well. And Big Tree's got a nice couple bases right around him here, so he's got to be feeling good so far in this match. And both players opting for that economic opening, so we're not going to see anything crazy in the early game. And Vincent didn't make out too bad either. He's got the campfire in the back. He's got a nice second base. And these couple bases are pretty reasonable for him. Obviously, third base is not as nice and neat as Big Tree's is, but overall, I feel like this map has potential. You can maybe say both players have 3 bases available to them, and then maybe an extra one, although it is going to be rougher for Vincent to get his third for sure. Vincent would really need to kind of draw the battle line like right here. It needs to be his game plan and try to secure these additional 2 grist mills for his cause, but let's see, man. So far, nothing crazy. As this game gears up, both players opting for that 8 farm, 2 tier 1 Warren opening. And now we just have to wait a minute to see what these guys opt to do. Nice little campfire pickup, in the back. Why not? 9 times out of 10, that's the correct move to make. The only time you don't really want to take a campfire if it's so obviously given to you like that is if you're trying to go for a very specific timing attack. Something like a 12 tier 1, 2 tier 2 move out, or like a 9-3 Squirrel Toad move out, something like that. The campfires will slow you down. But if you're just kind of shaking your opponent's hand or in a gentleman's agreement here and saying, okay, yeah, let's go to the mid game, take those campfires, man. And this one's a little bit bold by Vincent, but there's a good possibility Big Tree might not even scout over there. And if he does, he's got those slow units. It's going to be hard for him to really... Well, I guess the Chameleons are kind of good at doing that. But I feel like Vincent can kind of stretch himself out a little more on this map than Big Tree can because of those lizards. And here we go, man. Big Tree not messing around. I noticed he had the Chameleon opening. I was wondering if he was going to go for that tier 2 Chameleon opening attack. Instead, opts to get that Badger, though, and wants to go for a very, very strong mid-game army here. He's going to have a couple Chameleons. He's going to have that Badger, lots of tier 1 on the front line, and that's going to be a very deadly push. And meanwhile, Vincent is kind of going for that cavalcade of tier 2, getting a little bit of everything in here. And it's going to give him a very well-rounded army, kind of, jack of all trades, master of none in this big engagement. He's got the snakes, but I don't think he sniffed out that tier 3. Oh, actually he has, yeah. So I would like to see Vincent get those snakes going before the Badger's out. Sure enough, Snake Warrior goes down, and this is crazy, man. I mean, this is like the buffet of tier 2. He's just getting he's getting a couple of every tier 2. I'm interested to see how this is going to work. I haven't seen this sort of thing so often, and man, Big Tree's army is really rounding out here, man. 4 Chameleons, that Badger, you know, the pigeons and enough squirrels on the front. This is gonna be very deadly. Nice little pick off from the barbed wire, just getting that 20 food, you know, for free. No big deal. And let's see, man. I like that a lot from Vincent. You know, like I was saying earlier, he needs to draw the battle line here and secure these 2 bases. So he's kind of recognized, all right, I can get this base whenever I want. So I'm going to save it for my 3rd and take this space earlier on. That's a little more difficult. Here we go, deciding to move in, but the Badger is here now, and Vincent's probably not happy about that. And I don't see this going very well for Vincent here. Big Tree's got a very good army composition. Vincent wasn't able to get in there and target fire down that Badger with the snakes. And even if he tried, you know, the pigeons are here for Big Tree, which is a nice counter to that snake venom. So overall, I feel like Big Tree took a very good fight there. But Vincent does have those extra couple campfires, man, which are helping out his economy. And yeah, now doing what those lizard players do best, man, trying to run around, do some flank attacks. But Big Tree's, you know, he's home. He's not out of position. He's not out on the map. You can't really do runaround attacks when your opponent's army is sitting in their base. And Big Tree might feel confident enough to move out and then thinks twice about it and goes home for now. But man, I really love this army composition out of Big Tree, man. I think this is going to do fantastic. But that is, I mean, it's not even a crazy amount of lizards. It's 15, but here we go. Let's see if the snake stacks can get on the Badger this time around. One stack of poison does, but, you know, Vincent was making that effort, you know, but Big Tree was running around with his Badger as well, trying to make it difficult to target that, and should be able to get back into his territory, get the pigeon healing it again, and takes another very successful fight for himself here. And I'm not so sure what Vincent can do at this point. I mean, he's trying out a pretty unique strategy, you know, trying to get a bunch of tier 2 in here. But overall, you know, just against something very, very powerful like Chameleon Badger Pigeon, right? It's kind of like the litmus test, like kind of mentioned. And, you know, I was Magic the Gathering player. Anybody who's played Magic at tournaments, you kind of hate those red decks, right? Those aggro red decks, but they're a good litmus test for the meta. It's like, you know, hey, if your deck gets run over by this, then it's not going to work. And that's kind of what we got coming out of Big Tree here with this, you know, Badger Chameleon Pigeon style. Like, you know, cool. You've got something interesting and creative here going for so many tier 2, but I'm coming at you with not necessarily a red deck, but you know what I mean, right? Like, I'm coming at you with something very standard, very strong, and let's see how you're going to stack up against that. And, you know, what Vincent's got going for him here, though, is that Big Tree doesn't have an expansion. So if he's starving at the moment, man, if Vincent... Oh, dude, I'd love to see Vincent win. That would be really cool. He's just got one campfire left over here, and it's going to burn out soon. Trying to muster up just a couple of lizards. You know, all he's got to do to win is come in here and snipe this gristmill with his lizards. And Big Tree doesn't have any money nearby to easily just sell something off and be able to build something. He needs to go home right now and start selling off some warrants. I'm getting pretty worried, man. 18 seconds. Let's see. He can't just build a campfire or anything like that. He's going to have to sell multiple things. Oh, no. I don't think it counts if the gristmill's being built, does it? It's got to be finished, right? I think that's going to be it, yeah. Nice, and Vincent takes the game for a little bit of miscalculation there from Big Tree. I feel like he was in a great spot, but just starves out, man. Great game. 20 seconds to build a mole, says Premium Bow. Yep. Alright, guys. Thank you all for tuning in, man. We got a bunch of good games lined up tonight. If you haven't submitted to the show, man, don't be shy. Submit those emails to me, ToothAndTailTV@gmail.com. We are back on schedule for the moment. It's kind of hard for me to project what I'm doing weeks in advance, but I'm pretty sure, fairly 98% confident I should be able to do regular shows next week, so let's keep going, guys. Game number 4 here. We got a 2v2 on our hands. Alright, spawning in the bottom, we've got Miss Glicker and Frog. And their opponents to the north, Premium Bow and Firmar. Man, I'm always like super worried. Like, did I get the teams right now after seeing that one spawn, man? I don't know if you guys saw. It was basically like this with a little wall in between, and they were on the opposing teams. But here we go, man. Premium Bow. Not going to let this early game, start nice and neat. So they come in for a mole rush, and just one mole will be able to take out a building farm. Nice little save by Frog there, at least refunding a couple bucks. Good defense against a mole. Turret's a very nice answer. Premium Bow's got 2 moles in position now. He did pull his commander out in time to heal back up. That's very, very important in rushing situations like this, man. If you lose your commander, it's not going to be good for you. Decides Frog is prepared. Misslicker has got some units here for his partner and decides to back out for now. Ooh, very, very ballsy there for Premium Bow. Risking that low HP mole to try to take out a squirrel. And trying to go for the other one too. Needs to be careful. Really does not want to lose these moles here. One goes down and he sells the other one for only 19 bucks. But in the meantime, Firmar is coming in here. Went for a 4 or 5 farm double and gets a little damage done with those lizards before backing out. So overall, I like Frog and Misslicker's position in this game so far. I feel like they held off that aggression fairly well. And it's going to put Premium Bow and Firmar a little bit behind and economically. For deciding to open up like that, and Frog going for the crazy deck here, Owl and a whole bunch of defensive structures, and I think it could work out for him as long as you have good coordination with your teammates. Something like this, a 1v1 would be absolutely bananas, but in a 2v2 the rules are a little different. So if Misslicker can kind of get that standard composition, which he kind of has, I feel like I'd like to see a little bit more of like Chameleon / Lizard or just overall buff units. He's going for that Badgin, lol. Badgin, man, that's what we should call it, the Badger Pigeon. You know what I'm saying? I didn't misspeak, I just made a new meme, guys. The Badgin build. So he's going for the Badgin build here, which is powerful, but it's also kind of late game geared. I almost would have liked to see Misslicker go for something like a lot of tier 1, a lot of tier 2, to just kind of be the backbone of his team while Frog kind of gets up the economy and gets up to that owl count that he's looking for. And oh wow, actually Frog taking a proxy base here, wanting to perhaps turn on the aggression with the defensive structures, but decides against it at the last minute, backs out, and instead decides to spend his money on a couple owls here. That's really all that he's got. I mean, he's got a couple turrets, so the weight's really on Misslicker's shoulders here to kind of keep the team alive, put the team on his back until those owls can get out here for Frog. And one thing that kind of sucks here for red and yellow are the placements of the gristmills. I mean, just look at this for Premium Bow Firmar, man. They've got 5 on their side of the map that are very given to them, right? It's hard to slice this map in a way where those bases don't belong to them without them losing an insane amount of territory on the map. And meanwhile, red and yellow maybe have just 1 gristmill available to them, maybe 2 at best, but that would be very easy for blue and green to kind of poke from that high ground that they own, right? So let's see, man. Owl number 1's on the way. Are they aware of him? Because it looks like Firmar's trying to do a sneak attack around the side. I kind of messed that up. Where's Firmar? Okay, so his team is not aware of the owls coming up, but he knows Frog's up. They know Frog's up to no good. I mean, they haven't seen anything out of Frog, right? They got to be a little suspicious here. And expansions are starting to come down for players, but nobody has really saturated them up yet. And here's this big attack. As long as red and yellow can hold this off for the time being, they'll be in good shape. But this is blue and green's opportunity to come in here and kind of break their opponent's back before these expensive tier 3 units get out on the board. So overall, I think this defense is going fairly well. I mean, yeah, they took that expansion, but that's not really the end of the world. But they need to clean this up pretty quickly. The owl is out here for Frog. But blue and green are trying to keep the aggression going. Let's see if red and yellow can muster up enough. These turrets getting a lot of work done. But as red and yellow have a lot of their money invested into these turrets, so they can't really chase blue and green back so much when blue and green, kind of step back a little bit, get back in their territory, and re-expand, and kind of regroup and try to go in again. But Frog got away with it. 2 owls are on the board, and a third one is on the way. But expansions really need to happen here for red and yellow. Furmar and Premium Bow took their second bases and are just now gonna start building some farms on them. So if Frog and Miss Glicker aren't careful here, the Premium Bow and Furmar might just win an economic game, win from numbers. All right, so fast forward a little bit while they're kind of settling down in this mid game a little bit, and again, I mean, the big story here is the second bases. Green and blue have second bases. Furmar's putting the pressure on his opponent to try to really prevent even one of the opponents from getting a second base. Gonna bleed out some tier 1 there, but escape with most of his chameleons intact. And Frog's kind of getting up to that magic number of owls. He doesn't have a very good economy, but he's got the most efficient units in the game. So as long as his micro is good and keep these owls alive, he might not need the biggest economy in the world to really contribute for his team here. Falcon's getting a little far forward, but nice micro there from Miss Glicker, keeping him alive. And all these mice come in and get on top of the enemies of Frog's opponent and devastates a lot of the army. I don't think blue and green are going to have enough here to hold on, and Furmar is going to lose this expansion. And now all red and yellow have to do is kind of sit back, wait a minute for all those mice to rebuild and rinse and repeat. But the fox is out now for Premium Bow. But a lot of these mice are going to kind of bleed, free hits from the fox, which is not the targets Premium Bow wants. He wants these juicy falcons. He wants to land hits actually on the owls themselves and take them out. But as you can see, the mice are just really going to take the attention of the fox's AI. Fox typically tries to shoot towards his closest opponent they can, and those mice love to run around and chase it. So, ooh, I like this a lot. Now that Frog and excuse me, now that Frog and Miss Licker, kind of really muscled their way up this side of the map, Frog can take this base, and that's really what he needed, man. He had no prospects for an additional expansion. Trying to be careful and not lose these farms for free, but so far these owls are still alive, but needs to be careful. That's really all that's left here. If these owls go down for Frog, a nice teleport home out of Frog. He recalls to his base and gets these owls out from the side as they appeared to be trapped in a box. So well played by Frog. It really looked like Premium Bow and Furmar were about to kill those owls, and if they did, that probably would have been game, man. That's really what the red and yellow team have going for them at the moment. And behind all this, Miss Licker has been able to develop a nice expansion. But Frog is really starting to get desperate here, man. He doesn't have a whole lot left for him, and yeah, he's starving now. He's really got to plant his foot down on this gristmill and take it, but knocking out the expansions of his opponents, man. 4 owls. If you can manage to get that out, just do so much work. Finally, the fox getting a shot off on the owl. Premium Bow really needs to be trying to target fire down those owls specifically. But these skunks also doing a lot of work here for Premium Bow. Really helping out against all those mice. What'd I miss? Oh, those mice got all the way up here? Oh my god, that is so annoying. That is gonna hurt for Furmar. And wisely sells off a couple of those warrens that were gonna die anyways. And they're now gonna try to set shop back up here in the 3 o'clock. But it might be a little too late. I mean, these owls stayed alive for Frog all game long. And really got a lot of value out of them. Okay. Alright. My mic cleared my throat. Should be good now. Yeah, I feel like Frog's gonna take the win from here, and Miss Licker and Frog take the victory. Great game. All right, let's keep it going, guys. Game number 5 here. All right, spawning in the south, we've got Psychopath against his opponent to the left, Gooby. Kind of interesting decks here from both players. Psychopath, for one, neither player opting to run Lizard or opting to run, you know, the answer to Lizard right in the form of Toad. So, you know, just both going for that Squirrel play. We'll see if, you know, Squirrels can be actually very powerful in like that 5-farm double rush. So we'll see if either player opts to do that, but Gooby actually decides to take a campfire right outside his opponent's base very, very quickly, and he's got a balloon. Man, if he gets a balloon up on this high ground, I would be so happy. Is Psychopath, he's got to be aware. Yeah, he sees it now at the very least. But no, Gooby not really committing anything to that campfire at the moment. He does have 60 food, so he could build a turret now. Well, I guess once that campfire finishes, there he goes. Turret comes down. Squirrel's almost done, though. I think if he starts a second turret, he should be good. Yeah. So, the containment is underway here for Gooby. And let's see how Psychopath can respond. He needs to kind of muscle up. Yeah, he's got the ferrets in his deck, so that's going to help him out a lot. And he's got the pigeons as well, which will give him that high ground vision in case Gooby gets real annoying with the turrets up top and starts really abusing that high ground, which why wouldn't you? I mean, this is very effective so far for him. But once the ferrets come out, I feel like Psychopath might be able to stabilize, but yo, Gooby's on 7 farms right now, right? So, I mean, he's got a good economy behind this. That's normally the problem with builds like this, is guys will kind of forget to have that eco behind, but Gooby does, and he's even going to reinforce that now. He's got a lot of money saved up. Yeah, I would just build a lot of tier 1. Beautiful, and I feel like Gooby's in a very good position here. He got a lot of damage done to Psychopath. He didn't really lose a ton. He lost a couple turrets, but he sold a lot of it as well. And he's miles ahead in the economy, right? So the income graph's a little bit of a liar as it kind of counts the building farms, but even still, Gooby should be feeling like he's in pretty good shape. But Psychopath's got the ferrets out, man. Yeah, I'd like to see him maybe try to get something done with it. It's actually kind of awkward trying to get around here. You know, you got to go all the way around. It doesn't really look like it at first glance, but that's kind of nice for Psychopath, though, because that kind of makes this a pocket base, you know, down south. And he's got access to a third, but meanwhile, Gooby's got access to 2 bases as well, so the map should cut fairly evenly, even the same amount of campfires technically on both sides of the map. And Gooby trying to abuse the sledge, but Psychopath's commander is in position, and not gonna let that happen for now. So decent recovery here from Psychopath, you know, keeping it alive, and yeah, having these ferrets, you know, getting even gonna be able to deny this campfire. Gooby's not in position to cancel that, so that's really gonna help out Psychopath. I gotta say, you know, he really had a hard start here, but he's been handling it well. You know, he had good crisis management, and I feel like he's gonna approach the mid game in a decent spot. But Gooby's getting out that fox, and foxes are difficult to deal with. So let's see how Psychopath is gonna manage that. You know, ferrets aren't terrible against foxes. Snakes are okay. Chameleons are pretty good. So Psychopath has some options. The snake's actually a lot better now I'm looking at Gooby's deck because he doesn't have pigeons to heal the fox. So just a couple stacks of poison on that fox and maybe a shot or 2 from a squirrel, and that thing's gonna go down. So the Psychopath doesn't really have any of that out right now, and he's got, I don't know I probably should know, but I don't know the timing exactly, but it's gonna take, let's see, let's figure it out. So boom, it started at 410. Maybe like 40 seconds, something like that for the fox. And Gooby's, I mean, Psychopath doesn't know, right? Yeah, he hasn't seen the tier 3, so he actually hasn't scouted his opponent in a long time. So he's not going to be sure what's going to be coming his way here shortly. It looks like it's going to be 50 seconds, so I think the fox is going to be out right at 5 minutes. And let's see, Gooby opting to take this more aggressive base, which isn't a bad idea. It kind of turns this base into a little bit of a pocket, you know, taking the harder base up front and it having that easier to take third later on. So yeah, it was 50 seconds for the Fox. So the Fox is out now, and Psychopath's not gonna be happy when he sees that, because he's got like Fox repellent in his deck, but he doesn't have it out. You know, really the chameleons are what you want. Set up a chameleon trap, and Psychopath sees it now, so let's see how well Gooby can micro. Already leading off a couple squirrels, but Fox actually took a lot of damage there. Gooby needs to be careful. That it might actually force him to kind of chill out in his own territory. Give it a second to heal up, or oh no, he's gonna come back out with it at 10 HP. Needs to be careful. Really can't afford to lose this Fox here. But Psychopath not in position, getting a couple units for free. And let's see, Gooby hasn't taken a shot yet. Being very careful not to accrue any more damage on that already weakened Fox, and backs out, so. Good Fox micro so far. And I'd imagine he might just let it heal up all the way, give it a few seconds there. No big deal. Now, Psychopath's got the boar on the way, but that's not really gonna answer Gooby's army per se, right? Like, Gooby does have a decent amount of squirrels, but you know, boar's not so great against units like ferrets and foxes or balloons, right? So it's actually an amazing balloon, by the way. I don't want to understate that. Like, I love seeing just very minimal defenses like that. Decides to go for a second balloon, sure. Doesn't necessarily need it, but here we go. Chameleon Trap is out. Let's see if Gooby's gonna fall for it. He hasn't seen chameleons yet, so he's not necessarily aware of it, but runs up with the majority of his army. The chameleons did initially kind of get some bops out on the Fox, but there's some other units there to kind of distract it, so I think it takes 2 chameleons, 2 hits each to kill a Fox. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. It's either 2 hits from 2 chameleons or 1 hit from 4. So if you have 4 chameleons, they should be able to one-shot a Fox if you set them up with the trap successfully. Psychopath gonna try to play the macro game here, and hasn't backed down on the prospect of the board yet, and goes for the snakes, which I like. You know, a couple stacks of poison, as I said, on that Fox, man, and it will go down, so. But Commander going down here for Psychopath. Now it's gonna allow Gooby to come in here and get a lot of free damage done. You know, good army composition here from Gooby. You know, he's got the ferrets to kind of deal that additional poke damage. He's got a very siege-esque army here, you know. But some pigeons should help mend the bleeding a little bit. You know, Psychopath really wants to get these snakes up. He can almost zone out the Fox with the snakes, you know, with good micro. Kind of threaten, hey, you don't want to get too close, and get some stacks of poison, you know. It's 9 hits to kill a Fox? Oh, did Misclicker stream this one on Tuesday? Yeah, I noticed he did a stream show on Tuesday. I wasn't sure if like the replays people submitted me, they also submitted him, but here we go, man. Psychopath coming in, wanting to end this game, and the Fox does go down. And that was a lot of the power out of this army. Needs to target down that balloon. It goes down as well. And Psychopath actually going to be able to push in here for the win, it seems like, on the back of this board. So I was doubting the board play a little bit against the Fox, but turned out to work very well. The Fox kind of going down at the beginning of the engagement, you know. The hard engage from Psychopath was good. The Fox isn't good in those types of situations, so great match. All right, guys. What time is it? 8:50. Making pretty good time. Let's hop into game number 6 here. Swifty versus Doggo. All right. Spawning down south, we've got Doggo. And his opponent in the 1 o'clock, Swifty. Cool decks from both these players here. Like to see that Wolf, man. Wolf plus Ferrets is pretty crazy. I wonder if that's the plan. I mean, it looks like, you know, Doggo has got a decent amount of defense in his deck, can set up a nice front line, have somewhere to retreat, use a Wolf for a variety of reasons. Got the lizards for just a big pack of lizards. I always feel like when you're making a deck, you should think about all the different builds you can do from within it, right? You know, and having lizards really kind of adds that flexibility to your deck where any game you could just say, okay, well, I'm going to build just 30 lizards this game. You know, that's the build I'm going to go for, and it's pretty viable, man. They're so quick, and they can get on top of armies that don't have units in there to counter them. They can do runaround attacks. They can initiate base races. So just that one unit in your deck composition just kind of opens up this entire style of play by itself. And on the other side of that, you know, he's got some decent tier 2 in here, pretty meta tier 2 picks, and a Wolf to round things out in the late game. And you know, meanwhile, Swifty going for that Squirrel Toad, which is, he's gonna be happy he opted to put the Toads in his deck this game, because Doggo does have the Lizards, but Doggo floating a lot of money here. Is he gonna go for a fast Wolf? That'd be crazy. Okay, goes for a fast Snake, which makes more sense to me. So really quick tier 2 gonna come out for Doggo, and I feel like if Swifty, you know, he's going up to this just kind of bread and butter, you know, maybe 9 to 12 squirrels, 3 to 6 toads. He can push there, or he might be, you know, I would prefer to see the chameleons coming out a little earlier over the ferrets, make a nice mid-game push. But snakes are pretty abusable with micro. So if once Doggo gets these snakes out, if you know he kind of got some good bobbing and weaving, he can even take advantage of this high ground outside of Swifty's base. You get a lot of work done with just a couple snakes, and really interested in when the decision to move out is going to be here for both players. At the moment, they're just kind of poking and prodding. I'm not sure if Swifty's actually seen the snake. He just saw it there, so he knows which tier 2 Doggo has, and Doggo's going to take advantage of Swifty being, you know, Commander being out on the map to come in here. And oh wow, he actually didn't. I thought he was gonna snipe that pig. That always feels bad when you almost get it but you don't. But valiant effort from Doggo. Doesn't lose too much to try that, so you know, no harm, no foul. Hey Valerius, thanks for the bits, man. Cam X, yeah, I think I've got you in tonight's show, man. Alright, so Swifty is going to opt for that quick expansion. Doggo's got the campfire down south, but obviously that expansion is going to net a lot more of an income here. But, you know, Doggo's not going to slouch either in his second base. It is a little, I didn't really talk a lot about the map this game. But obviously Swifty's got a better position here. And Doggo again kind of saying, I'm going to take the more difficult base as my second and take the easier base as my third later on, which I would consider that one. Excuse me. But Swifty's ready to start this attack now, and this Gristmill actually is the only purpose it serves so far is extending the territory of Swifty. Man, I love these kinds of pushes, really using defensive structures aggressively, you know, setting up a contain, and he needs to be careful though. Doesn't really have a bunch of healing against these snakes besides his territory itself, but so far so good. Really needs to babysit these ferrets and not lose them, really. In these kinds of engagements, what you're going for is to try to get the kill. You know, either player really wants to get those tier 2 kills, and Doggo close, man. That ferret got down to 1 HP. So trying to be careful with these snakes, you know, kind of bobbing them, weaving them around. You know, trying to kind of spread out the damage from the turrets, and goes for the win with the bit donation. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Alright, so really cool game so far. I feel like Doggo's handling this very well under pressure. He hasn't really bled out any permanent damage here. You know, for example, all his pigs are still here. But now Swifty is starting to get ahead in economy. He's got that second base, up to 4 farm saturation here soon, and just reinforcing this front line. I love it, man. Just a few turrets, not anything crazy. You know, he doesn't want to hinder the overall army composition. He doesn't want to build a million turrets here, but certainly has some. But the wolf is out now, and let's see how impactful that's going to be. These snakes buffed up by the wolves, man. Should be able to apply lots of stacks of poison. Damn, 5 stacks, just like that, very quickly. Knocking out one of those turrets. Coming in here again for more harassment. And again, man, Doggo's been doing very good keeping these snakes alive. If you notice, he maybe bleeds out 1 or 2 every now and then, but for the most part, they've been staying alive fairly well throughout these little pokes and prods. So, but Doggo needs to be careful, man. As the longer this game goes on, the better it's gonna get for Swifty, just because of the income here. You know, Doggo hasn't really got a chance to run over there and saturate his base, which is too bad because he's kind of got the money to do it. But holding back for now. And this is pretty crazy, man. Losing a snake there. But Swifty's really trying to press in on this contain, and Doggo's fighting for his life here, man. He does not want to give Swifty this high ground, to give him all the space on the map. Nice little come in, apply some poison to these turrets. Now these turrets are starting to fall, but so are these snakes. Doggo needs to be careful. Those are very expensive units to be losing, yeah. He doesn't really have that critical mass of snakes anymore, you know. If he's just running in with a few, it's a lot easier to focus fire that damage rather than spreading it out on multiple snakes. So he needs to be careful, work the snake number back up, continue the strategy, but the clock is ticking here, man. Doggo is down to barely any economy at all, just that farm that he has in the 6 o'clock position, and Swifty's living large, man. He's got basically a full saturated second, and you know, producing a well-rounded army. No big tier 3 or anything like that in there, but you know, lots of tier 2, lots of tier 1, and a healthy economy to back it up. So let's see, this turret contains almost over, but you know, Doggo just doesn't have anything left, man. He's got a lot of money wrapped up in these balloons as well, which aren't really helping him in the engagements. I mean, they make sense because he doesn't want to allow the ferrets to come in and just poke, but I mean, there's no farms to defend anymore, right? You know, as you can see, those balloons did manage to get off a shot or two as Swifty kind of came in a little too quick. A little too far, rather, so. Man, some snake versus ferret action here, man. And there it is. The clock of doom has begun for Doggo, slowly starving. 50 seconds left, and I wonder if he... I mean, that is a grist. I wonder if he forgot about this gristmill over here or something. Like, he's taking this other gristmill as if he needs one to stay in this game. And Swifty's none the wiser, man. He could have, you know, if Doggo saturated up that other base, you know, he might catch Swifty off guard from his economy. But these balloons now starting to get some work done, and these snakes getting on top of the tier 2 of Swifty. It finally penetrates this hold. But might be overextending a little bit with these units, but he did realize he really need to get some damage done there. He wanted to take down that gristmill. As you can see, several stacks of poison got applied to it, but didn't quite have enough. So now Doggo needs to downsize a little bit and get his economy restored. But I mean, look how much Swifty's been ahead, you know, economically. I feel like that's really the story here. I feel like the control, the decision making, the engagements from both players have been great. But you know, Swifty was able to sneak out that expansion, man. That's what it comes down to a lot, man. When you're, you know, I oftentimes win games or lose games, and the enemy does this when it's kind of back and forth in the engagements, and you know, you take a big fight. All right, now I'm just gonna add one more farm. You know, remake my army, take a big fight. All right, add a farm. You know, rinse and repeat. And that's a good way to kind of get your economy up while maintaining an army and not, you know, really committing to too many farms or anything like that. So Snake's kind of getting sacrificed here. Doggo really wants to get this gristmill, man. I don't blame him. It's getting so low. But no cigar yet for Doggo here. And Doggo's got nothing left, man. He's just got this wolf and one snake. Hero snake here, man. Let's see it. And this is going to put Doggo into starving again. Instead, Doggo's going to run around the army, try to finish off this gristmill. I think he got it that time. Oh, man, he wants to try to sneak this snake in here, get the other gristmill, and knock Swifty out of this game. He's getting a lot of stacks of poison on here. Oh, he almost is able to do it. I feel like if he would have committed, he would have had it. Like, kind of, you know, dance around the gristmill a little bit again. I mean, I don't know. I think even if he didn't kind of back up there, I don't think he would have quite had enough stacks. Let's see. He's finally got to say goodbye to that wolf and throw down some farms. I'd love to see him use the sneaky base over to the side, but you know, Swifty's not in much better of a position, to be perfectly honest here. I mean, I would take 9 squirrels over two snakes any day of the week. But if Swifty doesn't quite get the memo that Doggo's actually really more concerned about the left side of the map than he is this 4 o'clock, it might help out. And nice again with the sneaky snake plays, man. Really trying to knock out these gristmills, but overstays his welcome there. Loses that snake and really can't afford to be losing anything at this phase of the game if he wants to stay in it here. Ooh, a nice sell at the very last minute. Not getting a whole lot from that snake, but Doggo's got a little bit of time. Yeah, I'd love to see him at his other gristmill, man. Just throw down a couple. If he would have went to his other gristmill and threw down some Warrens, you know, he might be able to stay in here. I'm not so sure why he's just kind of hanging out on this side of the map. He might be just trying to distract his opponent. That's probably it. And buy a little bit of time, but he really needs to get either farms or preferably more Warrens being made over here on the left. And once Swifty, yeah, now the jig's up, because Swifty knows you've got something somewhere. I haven't scouted these bases in a little while, so let me go check that out. And sure enough, he's gonna spot it from Doggo. He comes back, tries to build some turrets, but let's see, man. I think these squirrels are gonna get here in time. That's gonna be it, man. Really great game from both players here, but it looks like Swifty is just barely gonna be able to take the win. Really cool game. All right, guys. Let's keep going. Thanks again for everybody for tuning in. I apologize I had to miss a few shows for work, but we are back in action. I will be doing regular shows Tuesday and Thursday. I might even stream a little bit of ranked over the weekend. I don't think I have a whole lot going on. I know I'm busy Saturday, but I don't think I have anything going on Friday or Sunday, so might turn on that ranked stream for a little bit. Have some fun with you guys then, but again, if you're not in the show tonight, I still love you. I just only have so much time to do this, and you will be there on Tuesday. And don't forget, keep sending me those replays, guys. That's the only way I can do this show. We've been doing this show for over 5 months now, and there's very rarely been an episode where I was scrambling for content. So big shout out to the community, man. You guys are the real MVPs here, submitting these replays, keeping the cast alive. So let's do it, man. Game number 7 here. All right, spawning in the 6 o'clock, the red dinosaur. And his opponent in the 1 o'clock, Z-Ghost. Alright, looking at these decks, I'm kind of, like, me as a player, I'm kind of drawn a little more to Z-Ghost deck. I don't know, I like running Squirrel, Toad, Pigeon. Like, I'd rather have the Toads than the Skunks, but I get it. And again, I feel like this deck has a lot of flexibility. You can open up with a fast Chameleon Rush. You can go for that Badger Pigeon. You can go for a mid-game, you know, where you just got a healthy amount of tier 1 and second base and some tier 2. And meanwhile, Red Dinosaur's deck is very strong. Again, as I mentioned last game, that Lizard just opens up a ton of doors for you. You could just build a few Lizards. You could build a ton of Lizards. So I'm interested to see if he just goes all in on the Lizard play, or if he takes the game to the late game. And yeah, he doesn't have any tier 3, but you know, the word on the street lately is Chameleon Falcon in the late game is a very powerful combo, and it makes sense on paper. Right, you got those Chameleons up front to tank, and you got the Falcons in the back to deal the damage, so it makes sense to me. I'd love to see something like that come out. I don't think I've really seen a lot of games lately where we get to that phase, but he's kind of got that, you know, planned there if we get there. So Z-Ghost didn't get, really this map is kind of fair. I mean, right, like Z-Ghost gets a second and a third base and a campfire, and Red Dinosaur actually gets 3 bases here plus a campfire, so a little bit favored towards Red Dinosaur, but you could make the argument it's going to be difficult for this base to get taken as long as Z-Ghost doesn't give up too much of the map, you know, territory-wise and pressure-wise. If Z-Ghost can, you know, make sure this high ground is going to be easier. You know, now that I'm looking at that a little more deeply, it's kind of a, you know, positive double-edged sword here for both players. Like, Red Dinosaur's got the 4th base, but it's going to be difficult to take. Z-Ghost doesn't have a 4th base, but he's got this high ground. And, man, having high ground, especially for your entire side of the map, is huge. You know, every push, the Red Dinosaur is going to have to go through this water. He's going to have to go uphill. And that could make the difference, for sure, in big engagements. And Red Dinosaur, man, setting up the mines all around Z-Ghost base. I wasn't paying super close attention if Z-Ghost saw that. I'd imagine he'd at least seen a couple of those go down. And Red Dinosaur not opting to go straight lizards, instead, building a few lizards. I actually kind of like if you're not going to go super hard on lizards, just in case your opponent has toads to counter you. Building like 9 lizards, I think, is the right number. I see some lizard players in chat that could probably, give their 2 cents on that. But 9 lizards to me feels like they could do something like come in here, run around, get this campfire real quick, right? Get out of there. Or come in, snipe a Gristle, snipe a pig, and get out. Yeah, Zegos seem pretty aware of those mines. Just gonna kind of step forward. Having the pigeons there too helps out a lot. And Red Dinosaur not aware of these chameleons. Comes in here for a big engagement. Chameleons do a very nice job cleaning up the lizards, but wow, that mine almost killed that chameleon, which would have been huge for Red Dinosaur. But the chameleon escaped with 1 HP, and now the pigeons are gonna heal that back up to full HP. And Zegos has got to be feeling good about this position. Love that 1 turret there. Don't want to see him go crazy with turrets, but just having that 1 turret up on that high ground, this is what I'm talking about, man. It's gonna be hard for Red Dinosaur to come in and get up here. Very nice position, in my opinion, for Zegos. I think I would rather be Zegos on this map. Yeah, you can have that 4th base that we probably won't get to anyways. I'll take this high ground and this water outside my base, and it looks like these players are ready to go to the mid game. Zegos leading the charge on the 2nd base, actually taking a lot of farms here. Needs to be careful, but again, with this high ground outside his base, with the turret, I feel like Zegos is safe to be a little greedy, and he also won those last engagements pretty handily, so he's got to be feeling like he's in a good spot at the moment. But Red Dinosaur's economy is not far behind. He's got his 2nd base up. He's saturating up at a little more of a reasonable pace. We're at the 4-minute 30-second mark of the game. And yeah, just these big, well-rounded mid-game armies are starting to get developed. Really keeping my eye on how much Tier 2 Red Dinosaur goes for. Whiff and in, Zegos throws down that Badger. All right. I guess I did something different with the bits now, huh? That's pretty cool. Oh, you have I guess you have like a gold, silver, and bronze in the chat. I see that by your guys' names. Instead of showing the historic highest bid, it's the current streams. That's kind of cool. I'm not super hip on how all the donations and stuff work, but of course, anything you guys do donate, I always appreciate it, man. But here we go. This is what I've been waiting for. Zegos going for that Badger. And he's going to have a nice, well-rounded army. He's got a fully saturated 2nd base. And this is the phase of the game I'm a little worried for the Red Dinosaur. Yeah, Chameleon Falcon is going to be a good combo. But not as good as Badger, man. Especially with the Chameleons as well. I feel like Zegos is going to be in a great spot once this big engagement happens. I might actually fast forward a little bit here. These guys are just kind of waiting. I feel like Zegos is waiting for that Badger to move out. We got a lot of replays to get to tonight, so while we got a little bit of a lulls in the games, I might hit that fast forward button a little bit. But yeah, here we go, man. This is what I was talking about. 6 lizards is what Red Dinosaur is opting for, and that should be able to still, yeah, I mean, that still gets in there. It gets the job done very quickly. Backs out, so. Oh, baits onto these mines. That was a huge hit for Red Dinosaur there. Did that kill a chameleon? I don't know if 2 mines will kill a chameleon, but definitely killed 6 squirrels there, so. Good value. Zegos wants to move out, though. I think he shouldn't. I think he's just a little red in the eyes from that lizard runaround. That could always be annoying and kind of piss you off a little bit. And Zegos really needed to wait for the Badger here. I'm really against this engagement. He didn't wait for the Badger, which if you're going for a tier 3, man, always wait for that tier 3 before you move out. And then plus he took a fight where he was kind of down here in the quagmire. He was slumping through the water. He didn't have this high ground advantage. That was very well done by Red Dinosaur, man. Those 6 lizards, killing the campfire was nice, but really kind of upsetting Zegos and taunting him into an unfavorable engagement there. That worked out very well for the Red Dinosaur, I feel like, all things considered. But the Badger's out here now for Zegos, and I feel like this position is going to be real hard for the Red Dinosaur. He might really want to try to sneak around and set up shop up here on this high ground, right? So he's not trying to fight into the turrets, through the water, up on the high ground. It's almost like how your grandparents got to school, right? Through the water, uphill, against turrets, both ways. You know what I'm saying? Third base coming down here for Red Dinosaur. And Zigos is aware of it, and Zigos has a really strong army right now, so I don't want to see him sit around for too long. Really, if he can just kind of get himself out of the water, he could come out here and take a much better fight. But here we go, Red Dinosaur with another lizard runaround. No campfire there this time, but still trying to get something done. Actually gonna get a lot of damage done here. And Zigos is not opting to turn around and clean this up. Zigos is moving out on the map at the moment, but there's some big mines here. And got some decent damage done to Zigos, but the lizards are still alive on the other side of the map. Third base goes down for Zigos here. And but Zigos is able to run over most of the main army of the Red Dinosaur. Got ourselves in a little bit of a base trade situation with just 6 lizards. Now 5. I don't think the 5 oh, but his chameleons managed to make their way over here. If he target fires down this gristmill with the chameleons and the lizards, he might be able to do it in time, and that's why he took this campfire as well. He wanted to initiate a base trade. I can't believe Red Dinosaur is gonna win this base trade that got started with just 6 lizards. What a crazy game. That is insane, man. Good decision making from the Red Dinosaur there, man. Deciding, okay, I'm not gonna win in a straight up fight. I think the real winning play there though was getting those chameleons across the map, because 5 lizards with all those pigs around would have got slaughtered. But having those few chameleons that help tank some damage and deal some damage, let him win the game. So really cool replay. 6 lizards, man, so crazy. Alright guys, game number 8 here. Let's hop into it. Alright, spawning in the bottom, we've got the notorious duo in 2v2, Premium Bow and Firmar. And their opponents up top, we got KMX22 and Sexy Pachinko. And I believe it's KMX22's birthday today, so if you're still hanging out in the chat, man, happy birthday. Wish you well, man. Hope you had a great day. Looking forward to casting this game, so... Alright, looking for crazy stuff here. I got my eye on Premium Bow, but surprisingly Premium Bow didn't run the moles. Okay, so here's the crazy thing with Premium Bow's deck. He doesn't have any tier 1 besides the Toad Pigeon. Maybe it was a random deck, or maybe he's just having fun. But Firmar can make up for that with the lizards that he has. Firmar and Premium Bow play together a lot. They're probably on voice chat, so it's either Premium Bow randomed or they're kind of thinking of different decks they could play together. Together in their build, they've got a lot of options, right? They've got lizard, toad, pigeon. They've got badger, pigeon, the badgeon combo. They've got owls. They've got chameleons. They've got balloons. So a lot of different angles they can take this game into. And KMX22 and Pachinko, both actually, their decks kind of complement each other as well, right? Like the wolf and pigeon. Man, if that wolf buffs up the badger and Pachinko builds some pigeons for it, that could be absolutely insane. So Firmar wanted to get in there. It looks like he did go for a 5-farm double, but typically in 2v2 you're a little more hesitant about getting a lot of fast eco. So both Pachinko and KMX22 built a safe amount of warnings up front, didn't really take any damage off, deflect that for now. So not a whole lot to say up front. Really interested to see where these guys are going to take this game from here. Lots of gristmills on the map, and most of them seem to be favored towards red and blue. And Premium Bow, yeah, I didn't put that one in tonight, man. I had a lot of submissions. I know I get you on most weeks, man. And you're in these two 2v2s, so you get a lot of screen time. I'll get the one you submitted in next Tuesday. Yeah, I had like 30 or 40 submissions, man. So trying to get as many different people in as possible. So not that I don't love you. All right. This is kind of interesting, man. Firmar really wanting to contain Pachinko here. Taking a forward base. He's got balloons as well. But Premium Bow's got the badger out. I was kind of distracted. Somehow he snuck that out. Actually, great spot to do it, too. But KMX22 catching blue and red across the map here. A couple mines to defend, but not going to be enough. And some serious damage coming down to Premium Bo's base. But in the meantime, the pressure is on Sexy Pachinko up here at the top. This Badger is really a one-man army. And a lot of counter damage is going to get done, so... Both Pachinko and Premium Bo are both getting heavily crippled at this moment. The difference is here, you know, Premium Bo's got a hell of an army. You know, Badger, Pigeons is all you really need, and Pachinko gets knocked out immediately. And now KMX22 is in a 1v2 situation. But did a lot of damage to Premium Bo. Unfortunately did not get the kill, man. He really needs to finish off that Gristmill and turn this into a 1v1. But blue and red finished the deed and got back just in time to keep Premium Bo in the game. And from here, it's going to be real rough for KMX22. This Badger is just going to be too much, I feel like. Let's see if he manages to hold on. He's going to have a ferret out, but yeah, Badger's just going to get up on top of that immediately, knock it out. And I think that's going to be game, ladies and gentlemen. Really action-packed, very quick 2v2 match here. A little bit of a contain. This could have been a totally different game if KMX22 just got that Gristmill on Premium Bo, knocked him out, went into a 1v1. You know, because Premium Bo really had the majority of the firepower there with the Badgers, so. Thanks for the submission, man. Again, happy birthday. KMX22 in the chat, man. All right. We're getting through them, guys. Making good progress. Only 9:15. We're on game number 9 here. So let's hop into it. All right, spawning in the 6, we've got Blue Coon and his opponent in the 9 o'clock Concode. Both got the Badger Pigeon here. And also ferrets, so pretty similar decks overall. Blue Coon going for the mines and Concode opting for the turrets. But again, I feel like Blue Coon here is winning that tier 1. No toads out of Concode. Those lizards gonna have a lot of free reign. But Concode is up to no good this game, man, and he's got moles in his deck. So maybe he's flirting with the idea of doing a turret rush, but Blue Coon looks pretty well prepared for this. And Concode doesn't really have a lot of real estate to build a turret, you know, without being in range of the pig, shooting back at it, so decides to run away for now and just go home and get up to an 8 farm saturation. But this could be deadly if Blue Coon saves up, you know, even just 2 lizards. He can come in here and start harassing this 12 o'clock. Even take this campfire, reinforce this. You need to be careful. You know, sometimes when you go for an aggressive build and it doesn't work out or it's over, your reaction is, okay, let me go up to 8 farms, you know, get my economy going. But, you know, you force the units out of your opponent, right? Now your opponent's got units and you don't. And you can see Blue Coon goes in there and gets a pig, you know, forces a turret. And actually making Concode really paranoid now. Building lots of turrets, and that's fantastic for Blue Coon. I mean, he's got his economy going. And now he's just got to be living large. And man, look at these gristmills on this map. A ton of gristmills here. And basically all of them going towards our red players. So Concode is kind of stuck on this one base. I mean, yeah, he gets this campfire. But if I was Concode, I'd almost go for just a Badger rush here, right? Get up a Badger, Squirrel Pigeon army, maybe reinforce with some moles and try to push out. Because, I mean, Blue Coon's going to live fat here. So many gristmills. If you're Concode, where do you even take a second base? Like here? That would be very difficult. Yeah, grabs that campfire, which is kind of a consolation prize. But yeah, Blue Coon going for that second base, man. We're at the 2-minute 30 mark almost here. So pretty reasonable timing. And really, it's on Concode to make something happen here. If I'm Blue Coon, I'm just sitting back. I'm just chilling, you know? I'll just chill and just eat up more and more of this map. And it looks like Concode's aware of this. Gonna build some moles and try to put some pressure on, but the lizard should do well against these squirrels. He's got ferrets as well, which as long as your army doesn't get run over, are great at just dealing free damage from the back over time. But man, those lizards just absolutely got deleted by the moles and squirrels here for Concode. And Concode's gonna come in here and deny this base, but really what he wants to do is kill these ferrets. But nice micro back from Blue Coon, keeping those alive, and Concode's still gonna get the second base, which he really needed. He's also gonna get this tier 1 and a couple of the lizards that bled out of it, so. Great engagement here for Concode, and he's gonna push the issue, which makes sense, man. He's gotta be really aggressive this game. He can't really afford to let this go to a mid or late game. With the way the map is laid out, so trying to keep the pressure on here, but you know, Blue Coon's got a nice little spot here, right? He's got high ground, he's got a couple choke points. It's gonna be difficult for Concode to really get in here and seal the deal, but really all Concode has to do is keep Blue Coon on one base, and yeah, now Concode might feel safe enough to take this base over here and start splitting this map in a way where he can actually get some expansions. But here we go, Blue Coon's trying to move out again. Get this Gristmill, getting forced back, and it doesn't look like his commander is going to get there in time to cancel it, so that's another 60 food lost here for Blue Coon, and the pressure is on for him here. You know, Concode's kept this attack going, and maybe he's thinking about that's it for now and pulls back, but oh, there he goes, throwing down that Badger, just pulling back enough to spend a little bit of money. I almost would have liked to see him let those moles heal up, maybe even get a pigeon out. To help with that, but these ferrets are doing a great job here for a red player, and you know, keeping them alive all game long so far, and just dealing this damage, you know, slowly over time. Kind of like a poor man's fox in a way, you know, just kind of poking and prodding at the opponent. Yeah, that's what I wanted to see out of Concode. He really needs to. That's kind of what this pressure is designed to do, you know. Contain Blue Coon, don't let him expand, don't let him claim so much of the map, and get his foot down on the map. But oh no! Blue Coon can come in here and just annihilate this Badger Warren, and that looks like what's going to happen. Concode does get the refund, but man, that was kind of Concode's plan, was to get that done, and Blue Coon deciding he wants to go for a base trade here. Almost, he should have just kept those ferrets at home. The ferrets are going to bleed out, but Blue Coon doesn't really care about that. He's not aware that Concode did manage to get another Gristmill up, so he's probably a little frustrated he didn't just win the game right there. But he's definitely got Concode on the ropes here, giving him the runaround with these lizards, really showcasing the power of these swift units here. Spots that last Gristmill, and let's see if he's just going to go for the target fire on it. I'm not sure if he's got enough lizards to do that. He's going to try, and he's going to lose the lizards in the process. Now Concode's got a really strong army here, man. He just needs to like sell a Warren, yeah, throw down some farms, and counterattack right now. And he might be able to knock Blue Coon out of this game. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Blue Coon. Oh, but Blue Coon again with these lizards, man. Gonna run through it, and he should definitely be able to win this base trade. Concode's aware of that, tries to come back, but he's not gonna be able to get back in time, and that's gonna be it. All right, where are we at? Game number 10, guys. Let's get into it. All right, spawning in the 9 o'clock, we've got Mindbot47, new submitter. I don't think I've seen him before. And at the 2 o'clock, we've got Uphold Hopperus Hoxa Passatism or something like that. I think I'll just call him Hopperus for short, which, no, that might be confusing because he's not playing Hopper. I don't know. Uphold Hopperus, there we go. Let's do that. Yeah, again, we see the Badger here out of Mindbot, but no, no pigeons. However, he does have the toads, so he might not get lizard upon so hard. We'll have to see. And so far, nothing crazy. Both players just opting to go most likely for an 8-farm opening, maybe a 7-farm double or 7-farm Warren, something like that. Yeah, Mindbot going for a 6-farm Warren, perfectly fine. And gonna saturate up to 8 farms after that. Perhaps actually he decides to sell a Warren. Maybe he's gonna go for a double, or sell a farm rather. Let's see. Nope, just ops. Okay, let's macro up for the time being. And Uphold Hoppers also takes a safe Warren, so nothing crazy this game. You know, safe, kind of leaning on the economic side of thing builds from both these players, and Overall, the map, I kind of prefer Mindbot's position because he's got this high ground. You know, he's got the 2 grist mills, he's got the campfire, and Uphold Hopperus has some assets of his own, but it's going to be spread out to be able to get it, you know, and we're almost in that same situation like we saw previously, where Uphold Hopperus kind of has access to 3 extra grist mills in a campfire, where Mindbot's got 2 in a campfire. And perhaps this campfire here might be a little too contestable to get taken by either player, but Mindbot's got that high ground, man. That could come in handy. And Uphold Hopperus, though, lizards will beat squirrels all day long in a fair fight out there in the middle of the field. So taking advantage of that and, you know, knocking out a bunch of squirrels for free. And on the back of that, he's going to try to come in here and get a pig. Not going to be enough, though. And going to kind of throw that value straight back to his opponent, even things out a little bit. Now he's even going to bleed off a couple more lizards due to the commander placement. So, yeah, Mindbot knows what's up now. He knows the lizards are on the way, so going for this 9-squirrel, 3-toad opening, and I'd love to see him just move out with this. You know, once he gets some squirrels, or toads rather, yeah, and if he executes this correctly and micros these toads well, this is very difficult for the lizard player. If you're having trouble with lizards on the ladder, I'd recommend this build, but yeah, he kind of went out a little too early. You really need to have that entire, like, I go for like the 9, you need to basically have the 9 squirrels and 3 toads done when you move out with that. And, you know, even throw like another squirrel warren down as you're leaving, make sure your money keeps getting spent. So, didn't quite execute the timing correctly, but went for this right thing in theory, just moved out maybe 20 seconds too early or something like that, so. Uphold Hopperus is not in a bad spot, and now that he sees the toads of his opponent, he's going to chill out on the lizards a little bit, get squirrels up, and go for chameleons. And now Uphold Hopperus is putting together a nice push of his own. You know, once he gets those 2 chameleons out, he's going to have a pretty strong engagement. He can allow those chameleons to soak the toad hits, let those lizards run free, even going down a little more of the lizards, which I don't mind. You know, now that you only have 3 lizards, you basically use those 3 lizards to soak the toad hits, right? And if you could trade 3 lizards for 6 toads, that'd be pretty ideal for him, so. All right, I'm really, yeah, it actually goes completely down on the lizards at this point, which again is fine. You don't want those toads blowing up on your squirrels, but he's got chameleons, so ideally, as long as Uphold Hopperus micros this correctly, this could be a very strong push from him. Letting those toads blow up on the chameleons and, you know, having a ton of squirrels and some falcons to boot. And Mindbot's a little all over the place with his army. You know, this balloon is wrapping up a lot of his food, and it's not helping him out so much at the current moment. And now he's even investing in a second base. Now, okay, so Uphold Hopperus is putting some into that as well. So he needs to be careful, man. This army graph's lying a little bit because 120 food in that balloon. It really depends on if this balloon helps out in this engagement or not. I'd like to see Mindbot maybe sell that and reposition it over here. He's not going to have time, though, as Uphold Hopperus is getting ready to move out. Nice job keeping his chameleons up front. Really wants those toads to go off on the chameleons, and they do. They knock out a chameleon, but even still, they set up for Uphold Hopperus to take a great engagement here and just kind of rolls over that army of his opponent. And Mindbot, if he can, you know, as long as Mindbot can keep these snakes alive, at least he's got something. Now, he didn't die, which is very important, and he's got a fantastic economy going, so as long as Mindbot doesn't do anything crazy, he should be fine. I would be very careful about counterattacking here. I'd rather see him just kind of regroup, let these snakes heal up. You know, he's trying to just harass with these snakes, but needs to be careful here. Can't afford to lose this tier 2, and yeah, I'd love to see him sell off this balloon. No big deal. And let's see how the next round is gonna go. Man, Mindbot is going super greedy on the second base. It's really going to come down to this next fight for Uphold Hopperus. Like, if Uphold Hopperus can get in here and do a ton of damage to Mindbot here soon, I mean, he could win this game. But if he just kind of hangs out, Mindbot's economy is going to, you know, spike real hard here once these additional farms are done. Any second now, and Mindbot's going to be able to put together a more and more superior army. Now, this balloon is in position for this match, so... ooh, nice job, though. I always love doing stuff like that. You know, knocking out a balloon that's not guarded correctly. They died real quick, you know. We really got to babysit those things, and here we go. Uphold Hopperus moving in to take another engagement. Let's see how this one turns out. I feel like he's in a good position here. Yeah, losing those chameleons, but that's kind of what their job is. Run in there and tank the damage and, you know, let the other guys stay alive. And so far, so good. Let's see if he overextends. The snake could possibly get a lot of damage done if it's not target fired. Yeah, and the reinforcements for Minebot. Minebot's economy is very good. Now, he did lose a couple farms here. But yeah, Uphold Hoppers looks like he's overextending at this point. Really can't afford to lose these Falcons, and both of them are going to go down. Snakes go down as well. But again, it's really about the economy here. I mean, Minebot is out-mining his opponent. He's being a mine bot, you guys. Just like his name. Now he can get some counter harassment done. And let's see if he's going to be able to back out. He really could have probably just taken that fight. And good holds from Minebot here. And Uphold Hoppers, you know, taking some good engagements up front, but really overextending just slightly and allowing the tide to go back in Minebot's favor. I don't think he's going to be able to hold off this attack. Snakes come up front, tank some damage, but stay alive. And decimate the remaining forces of Uphold here. And really at this point, it doesn't matter so much if these snakes die as long as they get some damage done. Yeah, and this could be the killing blow here. Uphold Hoppers has nothing left. And it looks like Minebot's going to be able to take this game. Let's see, sticking in for now. There he goes. Hey, Meowkaiser with the big cheer, man. Thanks, I appreciate it. How you doing? I don't think I got a submission from you this week. I'm hurt. Does anyone know what rank Frog is at? Frog's like rank 250 or something, right? Something like that. I think that's right. I think that's correct. Alright guys, let's go into game number 11. Hey, what's up, Swifty? Yeah, you missed your game, man. Unless you were watching earlier. Game number 11, guys, let's do it. Hey, Premium. You were in 2 games tonight, Premium Bo. I know it wasn't your submission, but you gotta understand. I try to get to everybody, man. But let's hop into this one, guys. In the left, we got Meow98. And in the top, we've got Base God. Meow98 going for a pretty crazy build here. 2 tier 3. You don't see that a whole lot, so I'd like to see if he can make this work. Meanwhile, Base God kind of playing pretty standard, you know. I feel like Squirrel, Pigeon, Chameleon, Badger's pretty tried and true. Turrets are good for a variety of purposes. They can help you out against early mole aggression. They can reinforce a push position, you know, kind of draw the battle line where you want it. They can do all sorts of things with turrets, so not bad to keep in the deck. And mines are great too, so pretty well-rounded deck from Base God, I feel like. You know, I see kind of 2 clear builds, right? The fast Chameleon push with some squirrels into the Badger Pigeon late game. And meanwhile, Meow kind of has the Skunks and Snakes as a little bit of Swiss Army knife units, I feel like. You know, Snakes, not so much as Skunks, but, you know, you can say, oh, he's building a whole bunch of squirrels, therefore let me get some Skunks. And, you know, Snakes are fine first tier 2 choices, you know, do pretty well against the other tier 2 and tier 3 units. But that Wolf Badger combo, man, if he can get that out, that's going to be absolutely insane. I would love to see that here. I wonder if I'm just getting teased by this deck composition, so we'll have to see. And a lot of these Gristmills are pretty difficult for both players. Yeah, I was about to say, Meow's got a little bit easier of a base, but taking this very early, which I really don't mind. I mean, a lot of these Gristmills are very contestable out here in the middle of the map and don't necessarily belong to either player, you know, 100%. So if Meow can establish this position, yeah, throw some barbed wire up, he's going to split this map very favorable for himself, and it's going to make it near impossible for Base God to take this base. You know, Base God's second base is really going to have to be over here, if anything. So interested to see how Base God is going to respond to this. It looks like he wants to go for a fast Badger. All right. I love it. Let's see how it works. He's got Chameleons to deal with that barbed wire too, so not the end of the world, but Meowkaiser invested a good amount of money in that barbed wire, so I'd like to see him do something now. You know, okay, now you've kind of said, I'm going to turtle a little bit. He needs to maybe build a big economy. Maybe get out his own badger. I mean, the clock's ticking now. Base God's badger's on the way. He'll be out here in a minute or two, so if he's not careful, man, he might not have the best answer for it. He really needs snakes in this position, not the skunk. Did he get the scout off on the tier 3? He did not. In fact, all he sees is a bunch of tier 1, so he might be thinking, perfect, I've got the skunks. I should be in good shape, but really, I feel like he needs that snake more. Did I say Meowkaiser? Oh, man. Yeah, I know. When I saw the name Meow98, I was like, I know I'm going to mess that up. We've already got a Meow in this community, man. Meowkaiser. There's always room for 2. Man, so, alright. There's a big problem here, and it's this badger coming out for base god. It doesn't really have a good answer to this barbed wire, but he might not need one. If he just kind of comes up here onto this, you know, kind of northern high ground. He's got some pigeons to give him some high ground vision for the second stacked high ground up here. So he might be able to kind of run around this barbed wire. And yeah, he decides he wants to get the second base, set up a couple mines, but Meow is looking to move out and deny this. Meow98 is the 98th member of the Meow army. Oh, man. We should all just make Meow names, and Meowkaiser can be the leader. I'm down. I'll be Delthius. Alright, man. Meow's army kind of got slaughtered there. Even without the badger here for base god, so he's got to be feeling good. He's living large at this moment. Meowkaiser, or I did it again, man. Meow98 has been enjoying a bit of an economic lead, but base god is catching up now. So he's not gonna have that going for him anymore. And yeah, base god could try to wiggle around this barbed wire here, and try not to engage into it. He's got high ground vision with the pigeons, and here we go. Taking a little bit of damage from that barbed wire, and actually the skunks doing a lot of work here for Meow. That barbed wire getting this badger a little bit low, almost starting to get hyped up for a badger death here, but base god takes it out for now, keeps it alive, and is gearing up for round 2. Yeah, I think what happened is everybody submitted their replays. Like, I've had submissions sitting in my inbox for a couple weeks now because I've missed some shows, so I think people submitted Miss Glicker like the same games that they submitted me, so but man, the badger does go down there for base god, and Meow98 with a great hold. I think it's super cool. Miss Glicker is doing some replay casting now. I think I saw Captain Frog doing it as well, which is awesome. You guys should support them and send them replays too. But make sure you send them different ones. I didn't get a chance to watch. I tried to find Miss Glicker's replay show just to see, just to check it out, but I think it was in the middle of like a 12-hour stream or something he did, so I didn't really get a chance to vet which replays he casted. So if you are a replay submitter, man, try not to submit the same replay to multiple guys that cast them. But I feel like base god is in a great spot here. He did lose the badger, but besides that, he's been taking engagements very well. His economy is caught up nicely. And I'm really interested to see when Meow98 decides to join the tier 3 club here, man, and throw down either a badger or a wolf of his own. I'm not so sure if the skunks are really what he needs, but then again, as I said, that the skunks did a lot of work. Like, the skunk plus the barbed wire is actually a really good combo. You know, barbed wire is going to deal a lot of damage, slow him down, and you just kind of pour salt in the wound, or I guess I should say poison into the wound with the skunks as well. Yeah, Misk did. I'm not sure if he's doing it all the time or if he just did it because TnTTV was on a lull, but yeah, I'm not so sure, man. Let's see. All right, so snakes are coming down for Meow now, and again, well, now that the badger's gone though, I guess he doesn't really need his own tier 3. But these skunks are really not doing the work here. Chameleons are very strong units. Base god is on his way up to 6 of them. So I feel like Meow98's composition here is really lacking that firepower. See, if I try to say Meow98, I'm not as tempted to say Meowkaiser. Meowthius. Maybe next time I do a ranked stream, I'll change my name to Meowthius for the lulz. But here we go. Moving in again as Base God. And catching Meow's army out of the protective barbed wire a little bit there. But Meow gets out of the way. Doesn't really lose anything yet. But man, I'm worried because 6 chameleons, man. That's pretty good here. So, especially some pigeons to heal him up. 12 pigeons seems a little ridiculous. I mean, obviously that high pigeon number was for the badger, but the badger's been long gone. But still, I mean, chameleons have a lot of HP. Those pigeons could help out, but I mean, more pigeons than squirrels here. It's pretty insane. Here we go. Chameleon's moving in here. Also going to do a good job getting rid of this barbed wire. And Meow98 with some nice micro here, trying to keep his units alive and slowly kill off these chameleons, which is happening. Base God just down to 1 chameleon now, with 6 pigeons healing it though, man. Hero chameleon here, getting all the healing and getting a ton of work done. But man, Meow98's been doing a fantastic job keeping his key units alive here. All 4 skunks are still alive. 1 snake, oh wow, that snake spawned and hasn't really been targeted, so it's just been doing a ton of damage from the back, and Base God overextending there, and Meow98 with some good micro pushes him back. And it's hard for me to say Meow98's still in this game because he doesn't have any farms left, but if you can do a strong counter attack here, I mean, that's really what the problem is. Base God has a very strong economy behind this. As you can see, he was able to remake all of his chameleons fairly quickly. And this time around, Meow98 didn't put on the sweet stutter step moves, and in that direct fight, the chameleons just rolled over those skunks. And do a little bit of fast forwarding because it's gotta be over from here, right? I think Base God is gonna take the win. Let's see. Yeah, a little last-ditch effort here from Meow98, and great game though. Really cool micro. Valiant effort. Alright guys, I'm gonna try to get to 3 more tonight. I'm excited for these last few matches. So let's hop into them, guys. Game number 12. Whoop. Alright. Spawning on the left, we've got Arneo Metsuri. And his opponent over on the right, Pyle. Interesting. Pyle changing it up a little bit. I like this a lot. You know, Pyle was kind of using, he's been a pretty big lizard player for a while. And kind of popularized this build where you take basically just lizards and a whole bunch of defense. And I've been watching him iterate it over time, and this seems to be what he's up to now. Getting the lizards out, and he's got the moles here, which can always reinforce an early to mid-game push. You can always imagine, another cool thing about moles that you might overlook is imagine Metsuri takes this base at some point, right? And Pyle builds 2 or 3 moles up here and just bops that base with them. You can do little things like that later on in the game with the moles. Really kind of complements the flexibility of the lizard, in my opinion. So that's pretty neat to see. And he's got the woof to round it out in the late game if he gets there. So not too bad. And meanwhile, Metsuri is playing a little more standard, a little more up front. He's got Squirrel Toad, which is not what Pyle wants to go up against. And he's got the Boar and Falcon for the later phases of the game. So, man, Metsuri's deck is actually pretty good against lizard styles. I wonder if he's kind of aware of Pyle's style. Hey, and kind of tailored this deck towards it. I mean, really, besides the Falcons, everything else in this deck is great against lizards, right? Barbed wire, mines, the boar, toads. He's got a lot of answers to that to large masses of lizards here. And interestingly, going for a very quick campfire. I wonder if he's gonna build some barbed wire up here. He'd probably do it fairly effectively too. You know, just barbed wire off here near the water, barbed wire off in between these trees a little bit. And now you kind of got Pyle in a nice contain. But Pyle is actually playing very eco-heavy. I mean, why wouldn't you? Look at this natural base for Pyle here. I mean, that's beautiful, man. And I actually like this a lot out of Pyle, building a little bit of defense to make up for how greedy he's being. But man, he is being so greedy. We're not even at the 2-minute 30-second mark, and he's almost got a fully saturated second base. Interesting kind of counter to this, though, because Matsuri's investing a lot into this contain, and this is either going to work wonders for Pyle, or it's going to be absolutely devastating, because Pyle kind of allowed this contain to happen. But the contain didn't stop Pyle from taking a second base, which is really what's important here. So Pyle's economy is through the roof, but you know, his army is basically going to be Wolf Lizard for the most part. So things like mines and barbed wire could really mess him up here. And now Matsuri, at least for the time being, contains the entire rest of the map. He's got some campfires. He's got his second base up and running. Hasn't invested in it yet. He's going to throw down some now, but the boar is on the way. Man, I got to say, this looks really, really good for Matsuri. If he can get this boar out, it's going to be very difficult for Pyle. 2 wolves. The double wolf coming out here for Pyle, though. So don't count him out yet. Is that true, Matsuri? You just watched a lot of Pyle and went for a bunch of lizard counters? That's funny, man. Hey, that's good. That's part of the game, man. That's why lately I've been trying, like, I'm kind of known to play with Fox pretty often, so I've been trying lately to switch it up, so people don't just say, oh, Delthius, he's gonna get Fox, so let me take balloons, let me take chameleons, you know, lizards, and all these different counters to the Fox. Really defensive structures in general. Pyle managed to sneak out, though. That was very important. I don't want to undersell that, rather. It gets that gristmill now. I'm wondering if Matsuri gets vision on that from his base. Doesn't look like he does. I bet if he built another warren here, maybe he would. I don't know. It's very close. But 2 boars on the way here. Boar number 1 is almost out. Now, these wolves here for Pyle are going to make him mine faster, but it's also going to make his farms exhaust quicker. But yeah, all right, man. Pyle's pulling the trigger here. You don't want to build moles until you're ready to use them. That's kind of how they work, so I think he's trying to line up having these moles with the wolves. Oh, and he's going to have a bunch of wolf buff moles is the idea. It looks like to go in there and kind of tank the front. I'm not sure if he's aware of this boar yet. He's about to find out. You know, Matsuri's got a good composition to deal with what Pyle has here. He's got a lot of money wrapped up in these mines. He's got mines everywhere on this map. Pretty big monetary investment, but it's also gonna act as wards and allow. I mean, look how much of the map Matsuri has vision on. You know, he sees quite a bit. He sees any angle that Pyle may be able to sneak out into. But here we go, the big engagement. A lot of the wolf buffs actually on the pigeons here, which is not what Pyle needs. And a lot of those moles seem to get annihilated there. I don't know if that's what. No, I must have sold him because he's got a lot of money. I was kind of looking at the vision of the mines. Yeah, he must have decided to sell those moles, right? And where is he? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This is why the mole pick makes a lot of sense here with Pyle's playstyle. Now he's got these moles. Now he's just got to sneak his commander out to, you know, this general area. Yeah, and then just let these moles wreak havoc over here, man. If Matsuri tries to pull back to deal with that, then Pyle can come in and try to get out of this contain. That's super cool. Oh, but the moles are getting told basically to join the front lines. Let's see if Pyle has enough to get out of here. Really not a lot remaining for him, beside the wolves and the pigeons, but the moles are here, ready to go, and manages to clean up these boars, but takes heavy losses on these moles. Very expensive units, but the wolf stays, so it was expensive, but through brute force and a nice flank attack, good surround with moles, excuse me, Pyle was able to break out of there. Another board drops here for Matsuri in desperation, trying to finish off those wolves. But they stay alive, and Pyle's got the pigeons to heal them back up. So overall, I feel like Pyle's in great shape, and unfortunately for Matsuri, still is not aware of the space that Pyle is really abusing. You might think he's in better shape. He's got to know something's up, that his commander is able to get to this side of the map so easily. Let's see, the boars are on their way back out. One is here, but the wolves are here as well. Lizard's coming in, getting a lot of damage done. Gonna get on top of these tier 3 warrens. Let's see it. I mean, I feel like Pyle's in really good shape here. Matsuri's floating a lot of money. I believe because of the refunds that he got from those building boards once the structures were destroyed. And he needs more oomph in his army, man. He just built a lot of Squirrel Toad or something at this point, or risk getting absolutely ran over by Pyle here. And these two wolves, these critical units for Pyle, he's been able to keep alive all game long. These moles slowly but surely taking out this boar. The blast though gonna help out Matsuri a little bit. But Pyle's staying strong, man. Matsuri is pushed back to his second base with just some basic units here. But he's able to push Pyle back for now. Now Pyle's economy is not very good. That's kind of the silver lining here for Matsuri. If he can just kind of hold on, get this third base established, man. I feel so bad for Matsuri. He still is not aware of this base down here for Pyle, but okay, now he's got to know. But Pyle didn't go crazy on it. He's only got a few farms there. Pyle gonna run in here again. Matsuri not quite in perfect position, but Pyle doesn't really have a lot of units besides these pigeons and wolves. So he's gonna have to back up again. Again, Pyle's been doing a great job all game long keeping these wolves alive, but really doesn't have a whole lot to complement him. You know, wolves need an army, so do pigeons. He's kind of got a surplus of these support units here, not really the units to deal the damage. So I don't know, man. I think Matsuri, with some good holds, might be able to take this game, and he still doesn't know exactly. I mean, he saw the turrets down here, but Matsuri still hasn't actually seen this gristmill, and now it's becoming more of a big deal because Pyle is starting to saturate it. Okay, now Matsuri does have vision, so he knows it's there. He's got vision on those couple farms over on the side. He's seen the turrets. This might be a good opportunity to come in here and clean these turrets up, though. But Matsuri's playing really safe, man. I mean, Pyle's one of the best players of Tooth and Tail, and you know he's got a position where he's in a good spot against a player like Pyle. You're gonna be safe, and you're gonna really try to do everything right from here on out and try to secure this victory. Let's see it. Squirrels don't have a lot of area over here to get in, but did manage to get established, and Pyle decides I can't take that up front. Decides to go for a counterattack here. He might be, yeah, as long as Matsuri pulls back and doesn't let Pyle force this into a base race, he should be okay. He's going to lose his tier 3 warrant, but he really doesn't need that tier 3 at the moment anyways. What he needs is that money back. Oh yeah, he's going to clean up the rest of these lizards. I believe Pyle opted to go down one wolf there. I don't think he lost a wolf or anything. Yeah, I mean, this campfire is all that's keeping Pyle in the game for now. Man, I think Matsuri's gonna do it here. He is starving, but this gristmill's up, so he's out of starvation now. Oh man, and those lizards getting picked off for free. Every single unit really counts when you get into this scrappy, devolved late game here. And that's gonna be it for Pyle, man. He realizes it and taps out, and great job from Matsuri taking a game off Pyle. Sweet. All right. Okay, guys, we got a couple more. Let me actually really beef break. I'm just gonna grab a drink real quick. Gonna get a little cotton mouth here from talking so much. So be right back, guys. Just take me a second. Alright guys, I'm back. I'm back, Roni. Alright, we have 2 more matches for tonight, guys. I'm gonna end strong. I'm looking forward to these games. All right, game number 13. Let's do it. All right, spawning in the 3 o'clock, we've got Pillow 8. And his opponent in the 8 o'clock, we've got Valeris. All right, crazy position here for Valeris. Kind of out, really open here in the middle of the plains. I mean, he's got a base, but other than that, it's going to be difficult. Pillow 8 owns most of the gristmills on this map just by the nature of where they're placed, spawning. So, interested to see how Valeris is going to decide to take this game. Looks like he wants to go for a 5-farm double rush, which is kind of a smart play against Pillow 8. Pillow 8's known to be an economic player, and yeah, Pillow 8 trying to break the mold as well and go for a mole rush. Always great to change it up. Pillow 8's definitely a macro player, and switching it up with some aggression is really a good way to catch your opponent off guard. I'm gonna come in here and get some damage on these squirrels that are out of position, and the Warrens as well. Kind of foiling Valeris' plans of a early attack. If he can save this pig, that would be huge. Pig goes down, but all the moles, 3 moles go down for Pillow 8, so Valeris did get some damage done to Pillow 8 there as well. And Pillow 8 not gonna slow down on the mole rush, man. Is gonna keep going. And hey, Strawberry, thanks for the host, man. I appreciate it. You been doing all right? We need to catch up, man. Pillow 8 continuing this mole rush here. Actually gonna try to target the gristmill directly. But Valeris is coming home. Well, I guess he has to. Otherwise, Pillow 8's just gonna win. But Valeris is in a great position there to get a lot of damage done. And yeah. Okay, so yeah, Valeris didn't come back. Those moles definitely would have done it. Valeris is in a good spot, man. If he marches across the map, I mean, this high ground is very abusable here. Pillow 8 doesn't actually, this is actually a real big pain in the ass for Pillow 8 because he doesn't have a ramp to get to this section of the high ground. And he might see the writing on the wall because he takes that campfire knowing, prevent himself from getting directly knocked out of the game. And Valeris does the same by taking this gristmill here. And I don't know, man. I feel like Valeris is in a better spot. Pillow 8 gonna try with just 1 mole to come in here and finish off this gristmill. It's gonna be close. I think the gristmill's gonna live though, just barely. And Pillow 8's gotta be upset about that, man. Very scrappy early game, man. 5-farm double versus a bunch of mole rushing here. But overall, I think Valeris is gonna take it from here. No units left for Pillow 8. That's gonna be it. Alright guys, last one of the night. We've got game number 14. Let's get into it. Alright, spawning in the 6 o'clock, we've got Sly Fox. And his opponent in the 1 o'clock. What is a phone? What's a phone? It's a really weird name, man. My buddy, when we used to play games a while ago, his name was Fire Chop, and I was like, what? It's like that nonsensical kind of name. That's what's a phone is a little bit pretty cool to see, man. But it was like Icebox, That's almost like a Korean thing, though. Like a lot of the Korean pro gamers have names just like Flash or Sky, things like that. But so far, nothing crazy. Both players opting for that economic opening. Like to see if they go straight 8 farms. It looks like indeed What Is a Phone opts for that. And Sly Fox might be thinking about a gristmill. Is he thinking about... Yeah, what? Yeah. All right. Oh, taking a gristmill before 1 minute into this game. I think it's just that really tempting. We saw Pyle do that same thing when you kind of get a second base so close to your main. You're just like, yeah, I'm going to take that right now. And Sly Fox decides to go for it. What's a Phone, though, could come in here and get some damage done if he really just builds up a couple squirrels. Now, Sly Fox does have lizards, though. And What's a Phone does not have toads. So he might be able to defend fairly well, yeah. I think he's going to get away with it. But so far, Sly Fox hasn't really been able to use the second base yet. He really needs to get at least 1, maybe 2 farms on that as soon as he can. You know, obviously he's got to be safe and build up some units first, but you know, if he doesn't build any farms on it, then it's kind of like, you know, not doing anything for him really. It does give him this territory, which is nice, but he doesn't have any defensive structures like a balloon or a turret to throw up there. So yeah, I'd like to see Slyfox take a farm or 2 on that gristmill. But yeah, I think What's a Phone's doing the right thing here, building up a lot of tier 1, and that, you know, Slyfox does have to be careful. As much as I'm saying, like, I'd like to see, I think you have to take like a farm, otherwise it's like, why take the gristmill, you know? But if Slyfox just built a ton of farms here, What's a Phone would come in and roll over him. So that's why Slyfox being very hesitant about building any at all. Instead, getting up a nice, early, well-rounded army, and What's a Phone's going for the same thing, just with squirrels instead of lizards. So my money's kind of on Slyfox as far as composition goes, at least. But we'll see, man. You know, with the right chokes, the right engagements, squirrels can do very well against lizards. You know, they do get that extra range, so they can shoot the lizards first, and sometimes that really matters, especially when you have enough. And yeah, there we go. Slyfox just throwing down a couple farms, and I think that's all you want to do. You don't want to go crazy and invest too much money in there right now. But What's a Phone's not gonna totally all in here. He's got some plans for the mid game himself. He's taking a gristmill. Let's see how many farms he throws down. Just a couple. I think that's reasonable. And these players are going to be in similar economies and really similar army compositions here. But now, I mean, ooh, the pigeons are really going to help as well. You know, I mean, healing up the squirrels, healing up the chameleons. So lots of mines out here, though, for Slyfox, man. One good mine hit that weakens the tier 1 of your enemy could make all the difference. Yeah, that was a pretty brutal hit, but the pigeon's going to really help deal with that. And What's a Phone's not messing around anymore, man. He's throwing down those moles, which means he is ready to go. Makes sense. He's got the chameleons, and now he wants to push hard and see if maybe he can just end the game outright. And you know, Slyfox is being pretty greedy here. He's got chameleons of his own, but he doesn't have a whole lot of tier 1 as he was trying to get up more and more tier 2, and really took a lot of bases on his second as well. I didn't notice that earlier, but he went up to 5 farms. And What's a Phone targets down that gristmill, knocks it out, and bleeds a lot of his army. Looks like Slyfox is going to win the fight, but he might not win the war. And actually, What's a Phone does manage to take the victory there. And hard decision, but I like it out of What's a Phone, you know. Because if you don't target that down, then it's gonna, your units are kind of like half-ass be targeting it, like hitting it a little bit, hitting the opponent's units. So What's a Phone's just like, you know what? Let me get all these distractions, these pigs, these gristmills, and plus, obviously, that's always great, knocking out a base of your opponent, right? So he knocks that out right up front, and then deals with the army of his opponent a little easier, even though he had to take some pop shots up front. But I feel like it mainly worked for him just because he had a lot more tier 1. You know, Slyfox, I think, only had like 6 lizards going into that because he was opting for this 3 tier 3, and just now What's a Phone is going up to, 3 tier 2 rather. Just now, What's a Phone is opting to go to 3 tier 2, which it makes more sense at this point. It's off the back of a big fight that he just won. He's got the economy to do it. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work out for Slyfox, man. He tried to reestablish the second base, but What's a Phone's not going to give him time to do that. I mean, it was a good risk. You know, when you're behind, you got to take a risk, and that could have worked out for Slyfox if What's a Phone just kind of sat around, but What's a Phone knew he had the advantage, man. He's going to come in here, run over Slyfox's army, and that's probably going to be it here for our Hopper player. All right, guys, that is it for the show tonight. Thank you very much, everybody who submitted. Thanks for the bit donations, guys. We'll be on a regular schedule next week, Tuesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. EST. I might do a little streaming this weekend if I have the time. I think I'm free Friday, Sunday night. I've got a lot of replays already for the Tuesday night show, but don't be shy, guys. Send me more at ToothAndTailTV@gmail.com. Make sure I got plenty of ammo. I hope everybody enjoyed the show, guys. Thanks for showing up and hanging out with me as always. When I started streaming, there was like a bunch of people streaming, but nobody's streaming right now, so let's HC Emperor, yeah, if you can message me, let me know which one that was. I'd appreciate it. Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to tell, but let's go say hi to my wife, guys, since nobody's streaming Tooth and Tail, and I will see you guys at the very latest next Tuesday for the next show. Take care, everybody. I had a blast. Nice seeing y'all again, and I'll see you next time.